92 years old, still driving, is never sick. When my doctor told me that his patient was 92 years old and still driving and never sick, he was referring to my father. My dad is indeed 92 years old, still drives his car and has never been sick in his life, other than when he had COVID last year at age 91, but he bounced back from that pretty quickly. And today, he's very healthy and full of energy. So what's his secret? What has he done over his 92 years to be able to maintain such great health? I think it comes down to 5 powerful habits that he's developed over his lifetime. And these are habits that we can all develop. So if you want to live a longer, healthier life, then keep watching because I know that these 5 habits will help you do exactly that. Let's get started. Habit No. 1. No sugar. My dad doesn't eat sugar, doesn't drink Coca-Cola or any other soft drinks. He doesn't eat sweets like cookies, cake, or ice cream. And when he goes to restaurants, he always asks for no sugar in his food. And this habit has paid off big time. In fact, this one habit alone is probably responsible for most of his good health, because too much sugar leads to inflammation. And chronic inflammation is responsible for most diseases that people suffer from, including cancer and heart disease. This is why so many people who have a lot of sugar in their diet often have problems with their blood pressure, their immune system, their joints, their skin, their hair, their energy levels, and just about everything else. But people who avoid sugar, like my dad, tend to avoid these problems. Now, my dad isn't extreme when it comes to avoiding sugar. He'll occasionally have some fruit juice or an occasional candy bar. But 99% of the time he avoids sugar, and this has really paid off in his old age. Habit No. 2. No alcohol. My dad doesn't smoke or drink alcohol. He quit smoking 40 years ago, and he never drank alcohol. Some people say that you need a drink every now and then to stay healthy. But there are plenty of people who don't drink alcohol and live very healthy lives. In fact, according to studies, the heaviest drinkers are 3 times more likely to die early than non-drinkers. Obviously, alcohol is bad for you, and even moderate drinking increases your risk of developing serious health problems such as liver disease, pancreatitis, cardiovascular disease, and certain cancers. And that's why my dad has avoided alcohol throughout his entire life. Habit No. 3. Eats mostly plants. The majority of the food that my dad eats comes from plants. He eats a lot of vegetables, fruits, nuts, and whole grains. And that's why he rarely has any problems with bloating, constipation, or diarrhea. Why ain't that? It's also why plant-based diets are recommended by doctors, because eating mostly plants helps to prevent the diseases that we talked about earlier. In fact, my dad doesn't even eat any animal products like meat, eggs, or dairy, even though he used to eat them when he was younger. But after learning about how unhealthy they are, he switched to a completely plant-based diet. Habit No. For daily exercise. My dad exercises every day. He would go for walks with my mom every day. But since Mom passed away a few years ago, he does his exercises indoors by walking up and down the stairs. He also used to swim laps every day, but because there isn't a pool where he lives now, he does water aerobics 3 times a week. And he also does chair exercises on the other days. Because these exercises are low impact, they won't hurt his joints. And this is important as he gets older. As we get older, our bones become weaker and more prone to fractures. That's why older people need to do low-impact exercises such as walking, swimming, or cycling. Because high-impact exercises such as running, jumping, and contact sports can increase the risk of fractures and other injuries. And this is why my dad sticks to low-impact exercises. Also, exercise keeps your mind sharp and improves your sleep. It boosts your energy and your immune system, and it reduces stress and anxiety. That's why my dad makes sure to exercise daily. And finally, habit No. 5. No complaints. My dad doesn't complain about anything. He has a positive attitude, and he believes that complaining is a waste of time. This has really helped him live a happy, healthy life. See, when we complain, we're actually causing ourselves a lot of stress. And as we already know, chronic stress can lead to all sorts of health problems. This is why people who are optimistic and have a positive mindset tend to live longer than those who are negative and complain a lot. Now, I'm not saying that you should never complain. Of course, it's okay to complain occasionally, but don't make it a habit. Be aware of how much you complain and try to cut it down, because it's not good for your health. Now, you may be thinking that these habits are too difficult to follow, but I assure you that they're not. These habits are simple and anyone can follow them. My dad wasn't born with these habits, he developed them over time. But the key thing is that once he adopted these habits, he stuck to them. That's the most important thing. Just stick to these habits and you will see results. I know that you can do it. Here's the thing. You only get one life, and that's it. So you need to take care of yourself and do everything you can to live a long, healthy life because you never know when it might end. And I know that following these 5 habits will help you do exactly that. Now I have a question for you. Which of these 5 habits do you think is the most important? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button because it really helps us grow. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.